Happy Friday to all the great Gamecock fans around the country. We are in week 2 of a much anticipated college football season. It is great to be 1-0, and it's great to be a Gamecock today. Obviously, not the most pressure-packed game this week. Going up against South Carolina State, really good program, really good team, really good coaching staff out there. And won many national championships and are always a force at the HBCU level. The one thing that we're looking for this week for Carolina mostly is just to clean up some of the things that were quite sloppy in the game last week. Obviously, coming out the gate, starting against Virginia Tech, a quality, formidable opponent, wasn't easy, but there were things that you would have liked to see us do a little bit better. Obviously, South Carolina State will present some problems in the passing game with some bigger receivers. I think they run a 2-quarterback kind of system there, so it will mix us up on defense a little bit, which is nice considering how. Considering how the corners kind of last week, the secondary was challenged with good wide receivers, and I feel like the corners played pretty solid, especially with Clayton White really putting them in on an island most of the game. It's going to be nice to come out and be able to maybe play a little more too high safety and kind of play a little bit more zone out there just to see what we're working with, see if our pass rush can get going a little bit by making the quarterback hold the ball a little bit. The one thing on defense that I would say after watching the game over again, the one thing that I would like to see, and they're definitely going to have to do a better job of this, is getting a little bit more juice inside in the pass rush. Obviously, Goodwine and Nick Barrett and those guys, Dindy, they played pretty well against the run. They really did they played assignment football, which is exactly what you want from those guys inside. Speaking of, while we're running it through, Nick Barrett makes a TFL basically. So those guys played the run. They really did their job last week against Virginia Tech. But the push inside on passing plays, it left a little bit to be desired. Obviously, with Dylan Stewart outside, you've got to let him play a little bit. And sometimes when he plays, I don't want to say that he plays out of control, but he plays faster than everybody else. Therefore, he can get outside of his kind of gap. It's not really a gap because he's outside, but he tends to play so fast that sometimes he overruns some plays. So it's good to have guys, that complement him, that are really in their spots and can kind of cover up for when he does take a chance, really try to get after the passer on, third and 7+. He can, he really tries to pin his ears back, I guess you can say. And it's important for those guys inside to not do too much of the same. But I would like to see a little bit more of a push inside to maybe collapse the pocket a little better so it gets in the face of the quarterback. Now, I'm totally nitpicking here on defense. We played a really good game. Obviously, I pointed out on the last video that Sean Murphy, he could have played better, in my opinion. Obviously, Jair played great. Justin O played good. Played really good for his first game out, so I was intrigued with that. He looks big, he looks fast, definitely can fly around and tackle. So I'm interested to see moving forward what he can do at a from a blitzing standpoint too, because I feel like the one weakness he probably has in his game is he's not the best in pass coverage. So when we start to play these teams that are a little bit better and can exploit that, I look for Clayton White to kind of cover that up by maybe sending him on more blitzes, because I think his speed and his size can really push the pocket, especially if he's blitzing the A gap. You get a little bit of pressure, more pressure up the middle, and then you got Dylan Stewart on the outside. So that's one thing I look for. But overall, defense was really good. Offensively, I really look for them to find out who's going to play left guard. I know they're saying Shed Surratt is ready to play this week and will play this week, but they brought out the depth chart, and he was 2 on the depth chart behind Rodney Newsome. And then if you looked at Marquis Anderson, was the number 2 at the right guard position behind Trovon Ball. So the one thing I'm asking, and I don't know what happened, but maybe I don't know what happened to Big Tree at left guard. I don't know if he just didn't perform well in the spring. I heard nothing but good things, but typically with the offensive line, you hear nothing but good things in preseason. It's like they're trying to, give them confidence, but sometimes guys can't play and sometimes guys can. And we're not going to judge Rodney Newsome's whole career on that performance that he put forth, but it just looked like that everybody, on that left side really wasn't on the same page. I halfway put it on Sellers, halfway put it on Shula, put a little bit on Boaz, but definitely they need to help Rodney Newsome more. I think too often we kind of shaded protection the other way with Boaz, and I would like to see him help Newsome a little bit more going forward, because this is something that we've got to shore up. We've got to be able to protect Lenoris and give him time to throw, or we won't see these receivers really get off too much. 4 sacks, and there could have been 7 or 8 if you don't have that quarterback. So it was really disappointing to see some of these 4 and 3 man rushes getting home like really quick. So we've got to provide some resistance there. We've got to give them a little bit of time to at least catch the ball and find that first or second receiver. So, and getting back to Big Tree, Babalade, I really would like to see him get a crack in the game at left guard. Maybe it's a disaster, but could it be much more of a disaster than it was last week? Let's be honest. I really think that Virginia Tech, Gillum, I think his name was, that played tackle for them, that was really getting home every time when he wanted to. He is going to be a good player. Potentially could be a all ACC selection when it comes, when it's all said and done. Him and Peter Woods might end up being the best defensive tackles in the league. So just would love to see a little bit better communication. I would love to see Sellers kind of maybe get us in and out of plays better, look cleaner, look a little bit more in charge, make sure his offensive line's really shading the protection the right direction, getting us out of bad running plays. That would be probably the biggest disappointment, that we were running into a heavy box, and not only a heavy box, but a heavy box with a lot of blitzing, run blitzing going on. So I just look for the team to be much more cleaner. No drops this week, no fumbles, no turnovers, less penalties. We had too many penalties in the game last week. And so it really kind of hindered us to just get into a rhythm. I want to see the offense get into a much better rhythm, Receivers catch the ball, spread the ball around a little bit. Don't run Sellers very much this game. Hopefully he plays, 2.5 quarters at most, and we do a good job. But as I say that, I look at 65 and I get worried. I just think that Tree Babalade deserves a chance because he stayed with the program. I don't know all the backstory. I don't know everything, but what I can see from the outside is a player that started a good bit of his true freshman year, played the best he could, didn't do that bad, did pretty good, did about as good as Josiah did in his first year. And I don't think Josiah played very good last week. I think it had to do with continuity and just the lack of talent beside him and the lack of knowledge beside him of not knowing the plays, not knowing the steps, and all those things. So most intriguing thing from last week was definitely Nicholas Harbor. He looked good. He did have one drop, but you're going to have to live with those sometimes. He's not the most natural catcher of the football, but you got to see his speed in the open field, which we've been waiting on that for a couple years now. So it was nice to see them get a look kind of late in the game and really ice the game. He really could have had 2 touchdowns, probably should have had 2 touchdowns. But this is what I'm saying. He's not a straight natural catcher of the football. So him completing those catches have got to be kind of on his mind all the time. Just like the guy from the program. I know he was fumbling, but there was a movie called The Program which was shot at University of South Carolina. It was Omar Epps was the running back. He fumbles in practice one day, and the coach tells him to hold on to the football all the time wherever he went, and the guys try to knock it out of his hand. We might need to do that with Nick, not because he fumbles, but just because when you play receiver at this level, you have to be locked in. You have to be focused throughout the whole catch. It's very important not to lose focus, almost just cradle that ball as soon as you get it, put it away as fast as you can, because these DBs, the one thing that they do, the good ones, is they don't give up. When you get your hands up and you high point the football, the bad DBs will kind of just be like, wow, great catch, good catch. The good DBs will fight you till you fall to the ground, and even after that, just pulling the ball out. It's smart for them, and those are the ones that are really pesky and don't get don't give up as many big plays. So excited for Nick though. He looked good. He looked fast. He looked really much more confident in what he was doing out there. He looked like a leader of the team. He looked like it was his year to really have a big season. I'd love to see him get the ball to Mazeo Bennett. I know I made a video saying that he was going to be the biggest kind of breakout player, and I still believe that. I think they had one target to him. Lenoris let it go really high. Got a little happy with his feet. And if there is one thing that Lenoris does, when that first read's not there, he starts to get his feet start moving a little too much. And that makes sense. I mean, we haven't had good offensive lines. He's used to his best weapon is his legs right now. We got to keep it a buck about that. So understandable, but need to get off that first read a little bit faster, and then we can feel like we have more time to get to that second and third option that could be for big plays. So in retrospect here, just kind of ending the video, I really think that was a really good game for Carolina to start with. It was a tough game. It was a challenge. It was a neutral site. It was a chance for them to kind of show what they've been working on. And then also, it wasn't a perfect game. I think that's really important. It feels better to be able to coach your team and help them understand that, hey, it's not the off season anymore. We're in season. The games are pretty hard, so you really got to be prepared for the game. And if you're not, it's going to show up tremendously. So excited for them to look a lot more crisp this week. Sellers to have a big night against South Carolina State. Some of these receivers, younger receivers, get the ball and see what it feels like to be in Williams-Brice, making plays. Faison, Attaway. You definitely want to get Isaiah Gustav a carry or two would be nice, because I think he can really help us this year, especially inside. I don't think Faison's a great inside runner, but I think he is a dynamic runner, and he can be an excellent complement next to Sellers. And then Attaway is going to be kind of your every down back that can do a little bit of everything. And I just look for a Gustav to get in the game and see if he can make his imprint inside. And maybe we can get something going and kind of sure up that technique with our linemen. Everybody's blocking the right person, because that is a huge aspect of playing line and having good offensive line. Everybody has to be on the same page, no matter what the front is, no matter where the defensive tackles, defensive ends are shaded. It doesn't matter. You have to know who you have and what steps you're going to take to get to that block and do your job. And I think Sean Elliott's on this staff. If you think back to some of the great teams that Carolina had with Coach Spurrier and Sean Elliott, those 5-6 years, they never had a bad offensive line. Let's be honest. Just try to think about that. They could always run the ball, and they always protected the quarterback. You never had offensive line issues with those teams. So I really look for Sean Elliott to kind of maybe help Teasley and help these guys to make sure that they're locked in it and the players understand what they're supposed to do. I don't know if this is the most athletic offensive line. I'm starting to think that they maybe lack a little athleticism. Obviously, Josiah should be an athletic guy. Case and Henry looked pretty good for most of the game. Trovon played really well. But I don't know if Trovon is the most athletic player to where he can, get out on screens, pull effectively. I really think Tree can do these things for you, and I'd like to see him get in there and get a chance, and it might make all the difference. And maybe they're saving it. Who knows at this point? Everything's so under the radar and discreet with these coaches now. They could be putting their third or fourth string guy starting the game right now just to see what they have. I could see that. I really could. I think sometimes coaches are really, really confident in their team, and it seems like Beamer thinks he has a really good team. So let's just let him do his process and kind of figure it out. Typically, the offensive line is bad for the first 3 or 4 games. We've got to be good faster this year, and everybody's excited about the line, and that's why it's, somewhat disappointing. But I really look for, them to keep coaching and to find that solid 5 that we can count on and that we can see run the ball a little more effectively and definitely hold up better in pass protection. I don't think Sellers held the ball. I think the safety was his fault. I don't think it was the line's fault, but love to see them just play a little bit cleaner, especially with the penalties and things like that. So excited for this game. Get right game against South Carolina State. Get a lot of people in the game. Like to see Cutter Woods, like to see Aaron Noland. I'm sure we'll see Luke Doty, and you might not be super excited for that, but proud of that kid for playing his role. And just really look forward to the weekend. There's not a lot of great games on this weekend. So everybody should have a good weekend. Enjoy it. Watch some games. Watch some football. Get out and enjoy the weather that it seems like it's slowly starting to cool down, which is nice. I live in Jacksonville, Florida, so it's still pretty hot here, but the last couple days it has had a little bit more of a crispness in the air, if you will. So starting to feel like real football season, and we are definitely in football season. So enjoy this weekend. This road gets harder, and as we keep winning, I thought our performance against Virginia Tech was, I'll give it a B minus. Honestly, I thought that it was stuff that we could have cleaned up if we didn't have that big punt return there by Vakari Swain. It was going to be a really close football game. Got a little unfortunate with this play with Nick Harbor, but it was a win. And that's all that really matters in this game, especially when you play these games early. So as you win, though, the people that were kind of tooting your horn a little bit in the offseason, they don't turn down. It doesn't matter how you win. They are going to turn up because they want to be right. Obviously, I want us to be a great team, but we got to keep it. This is the real Carolina football show, and I'm not just digging at North Carolina. I'm also very, very realistic. I am an SEC guy, but I do not have major SEC bias. I love football. I call a spade a spade. If you don't play well, I might say something you don't like. If you play great, you're going to love me. So appreciate you guys watching the channel. Can't wait to watch Carolina go up against South Carolina State this weekend. Everybody be safe out there. If you like this video or if you like the content that I'm producing, still trying to figure this whole thing out. Enjoy making these videos and enjoy talking about football. So if there's anything that you guys want to send me, if you have any ideas of any videos that you would like me to do, that would be great. It definitely helps me. And if like I said, if you like the video, please like or subscribe, send me a comment, whatever feedback I can get. I really appreciate it. You guys have a good weekend and stay safe out there. Go Gamecocks.